we've got the card of the year. UFC 308, Dana White has just announced it. Well, 2 days ago, I'm a little bit late to the party, but this is an absolute stacked card, and we're going to give our initial reactions to this card and our thoughts about the fights, maybe some early predictions. First off, let's take a look at Dana White's announcement, and he does a pretty good job at hyping this card up. Now, he's got a little bit of UFC footage layered over him talking, probably because he had to read this off a teleprompter because he goes deep on all the details. So I might have to blur the footage here and there, but you get the point. Let's listen. We're listening, we're not watching. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? I'm back with another fight announcement live from the Etihad Arena in Fight Island, Abu Dhabi. It's UFC 308, the main event. Undefeated lightweight champ Ilia Topuria looks to make his first title defense against the legend and BMF Max Holloway.
Oh, what a matchup. Kind of glad that they're doing this because I'm excited to see it. I think we've got Max Holloway, who's at the prime of his career right now, coming off that Justin Gaethje win. We've got Ilia Topuria absolutely destroying. I can't even speak. Absolutely destroying Alexander Volkanovski. This is going to be a very interesting matchup, and I said on my last live stream, guys, I don't know what's going to happen with this fight. I love how Max Holloway looked in his last fight, but it was kind of like a stylistically good matchup for him against Justin Gaethje. He's a bit of a punching bag sometimes. Max Holloway usually doesn't do too great against the shorter fighters. Ilia Topuria's looking the best he's ever looked. I think this is a real tough fight to predict. Let's continue anyway.
Ilia's coming off a knockout win over Alex Volkanovski earlier this year. 13 of his 15 wins have come by finish, and his last 4 fights have earned him performance bonuses.
He's crazy.
He is the best combat sport athlete to come out of Spain, and his career is coming full circle because he made his UFC debut in Abu Dhabi.
That's
Max
right.
Holloway.
He's going to use that to justify doing another Abu Dhabi card, which is annoying, but I'm kind of pleased because it means the fights are going to be on earlier. Them 6 a.m., half 6 a.m. finishes are just absolutely brutal, especially when you're in your mid-30s. Ugh, it just gets to you, but I am kind of glad that we're in Abu Dhabi for this fight, but I just feel like it could be so much bigger if it was in Vegas or in New York. But obviously the UFC, they're getting a lot of money from the Middle East right now.
Off one of the most incredible knockouts in history, defeating Justin Gaethje to win the BMF belt in the final second of their fight at UFC 300. Max holds the record for most strikes landed, most featherweight wins, most featherweight finishes, and third longest UFC win streak at 13.
Another reason why I'm super excited for it is because Max has been on a finishing streak. He's been absolutely dusting people. Well, he's got 2 finishes, but that's so uncharacteristic of Holloway. He's not really a finisher. Right now, here's the fight that I'm really looking forward to.
The co-main event will be 5 rounds between the number 3 ranked middleweight Robert Whittaker and 11th ranked Khamzat Chimaev.
Let's go! Bobby Knuckles versus Khamzat Chimaev. This fight has just been rebooked. It was meant to take place a few months ago. Khamzat, constant issues after issues. He's sick 1 minute. He's got visa problems the next. He's sick again. It's the COVID jab. Some people are saying it was cancer. This and that. It's like, okay, good. I'm finally glad that Khamzat is committing to fight. Let's pray to the MMA lords that this fight doesn't fall through again. I'm not going to get into predictions just yet. Yeah, let's continue to play. Don't give too many thoughts, Sean. Let's go.
This fight was supposed to take place in June, but Khamzat got ill, and Whittaker, being the badass that he is, accepted Aliskerov on short notice.
Whittaker destroyed that Ikram Aliskerov. Looked so sharp, the best he's ever looked. I think it's because he's been training his backside off for Khamzat Chimaev. I think we might even see the best Whittaker. I think
Chimaev is undefeated, 13-0 with 11 finishes, and 8 of those coming in the very first round. He made his debut on Fight Island, fighting twice in 10 days.
Okay, another reason why we can go to Abu Dhabi. Just a little bit annoying. But you know what, right, once again, why am I even pretending to be that bothered? I used to be bothered because I wasn't a big fan of the crowd, and the atmosphere was always a little bit dead. But for my own selfish purpose, I'm pretty happy about this. Next fight.
Also, the number 2 ranked heavyweight, Cyril Gane, versus the number 3 ranked Alexander Volkov.
The rematch.
Shaun is the former interim champ. He's one of the most dangerous strikers in the division, and he's also won 3 fights by submission. Volkov is a 48-fight veteran with 24 knockouts in his career. He's currently on a 4-fight win streak with 3 of those coming by finish.
I'm telling you, I love Volkov to get the win in this fight. I'm doing predictions already. Doesn't matter. When was the last time that Gorn looked really scary? Maybe against Tai Tuivasa. This is the rematch in their initial fight. Volkov had some good moments. But anyway, I think this is going to be a really good fight. Volkov got incredible kickboxing. Cyril Gorn's also got pretty decent striking. Cyril Gorn doesn't really have much wrestling, so we know that there's going to be no threat of a takedown there against Volkov. So I think stylistically this favours Volkov pretty nicely.
Also, number 2 ranked Magomed Ankalaev versus the number 5 ranked Alexander Rakic.
Yes, this is a bit of a sleeper. This could be an absolute banger.
Ankalaev is 18-1 with 10 wins by knockout. Rakic has 9 knockouts in his 14 career wins. October 26th, UFC 308 from the Etihad Arena in Fight Island, Abu Dhabi.
Dana must have took a shot of testosterone right before he done this reel because the promotion on this was good. He's absolutely screaming his lungs off. Oh yeah, you can actually see he's looking off at the teleprompter there. Good stuff, Dana. But who cares? Who cares if it's not off the top of the dome? So let's take a look at some of these matchups because this is an absolute incredible card. These are just some of the main fights, but already, even with just these 4 fights, I'm willing to pay the pay-per-view. No problemo whatsoever because these fights are going to be boss. Dana's going to stack the crap out of this card. Nothing compared to the UFC 306 card. We've got Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili, and then Alexa Grasso and Shevchenko. Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. That's a pretty decent fight, but that's the Sphere card. That pretty crap. And the reason I believe that Sphere card is so bad is because Dana White, he's taking a gamble with it. It's the first time he's going to be doing that event, so he's not going to stack it like crazy just in case something goes wrong with it, or it's just not as good as he thinks it will be. So the Sphere card is a bit of a test run. I haven't really seen anyone talk about that. Maybe that's the case. On the ESPN website, we've also got Dan Ige versus Lerone Murphy. We've also got Jeff Neal versus Rafael Dos Anjos. This card is looking to be pretty stacked. It could be card of the year. Let's get into some early predictions. First off, we've got Topuria versus Max Holloway. Ooh, man. So my initial thoughts before Holloway went up to lightweight was Topuria would win this fight. But then Holloway having such an incredible performance against Justin Gaethje has muddied the waters and made me think, okay, Holloway looks really, really good. I think he could get the job done. But then again, when I looked at Topuria versus Volkanovski, I watched that fight back, he's got that killer within him. Got great grappling, incredible boxing, also good leg kicks. Holloway is my favourite fighter on the entire UFC roster right now, pretty much. Alex Pereira, Max Holloway, them two are right up there. Bobby Knuckles. And I don't want to say it, but I really think the Topuria is a nightmare matchup for Holloway, stylistically speaking. Think about Holloway, he struggled with Volkanovski 3 times over, and Ilia Topuria is a more refined, polished, better version of Volkanovski. So I'm not too sure yet. On this channel, we're going to review some sparring footage. We're going to break down some previous fights that these two have had before we do an official prediction. But I do like Topuria going into this fight. I hope I'm wrong and Max Holloway gets the job done, but I don't know. I just believe Topuria is a bit of a dark horse. You could argue that Topuria carries more power at featherweight than anyone else who Max Holloway has fought. Now, Max Holloway fought Justin Gaethje, who, okay, has got power shots, but I've always said Justin Gaethje hasn't got as much power as people think. He throws absolute bombs, but I do believe that power is slightly overstated. Now, I know there'll be people in the comments like, oh, you said Justin Gaethje's got no power. Shut up, you mongs. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying I feel that Justin Gaethje's power is slightly overstated. People talk about him like as if he's Alex Pereira. Oh, he's got the power in the shots. Now, let me back up a moment. Justin Gaethje has got a lot of finishers, of course, but what I mean is recently, he hasn't been sparking people out cold. Okay, he got Dustin Poirier with that head kick. The last KO that Justin Gaethje got with punches was in 2019 against Edson Barbosa. So the facts don't lie. My point is that Max Holloway was always going to be able to take those punches of Justin Gaethje because of the chin that he's got. But the question is, does Ilia Topuria punch harder than Justin Gaethje? I don't know, but I'm actually inclined to say, yeah, maybe he's got more punching power. Or maybe his boxing technique is just that much more crisp. He's got a lot more of an offensive boxing style, and he puts combinations together so much better than Justin Gaethje does. Justin Gaethje, will throw like 1 to 3 punch combinations. Topuria strings together like 5, to 7-punch combinations with clean, crisp technique. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to be an easy fight for Holloway. That's all I can really say about this fight so far. Now let's look at this fight. Oh, yes, Bobby Knuckles versus Khamzat Chimaev. I think Bobby Knuckles wins it, you know. I think Whittaker gets him. He's been more active. How he looked in that last fight against Ikram Eleskarov. Bobby Knuckles, similar to Max Holloway. Whoa, where did that finish come from? Since when has Bobby Knuckles been finishing people? Once again, I know he's got finishes, but it's just not something that he's known for. He's not known for going out there and getting KOs. He typically goes out there and gets decisions, or will rock a fighter in the second or third round and then get the decision. He has really good moments in his fights, but usually just cruises to easy victories. But yet that last fight, I think he looked really sharp. Now, I'm not saying that Ikram Eleskarov is anywhere near the skill level of Khamzat Chimaev, but Khamzat's just been far too inactive. Plus also, is he really as good as people think? Because tell me right now who Khamzat has beat. There it is. Right. You guys decide. For anyone who were on the Khamzat hype train, Shaun, you're a casual. You don't know. You don't think Khamzat is good. This isn't a combat sports channel. Stupid mongs. We got Kamaru Usman. He's scraped by a decision there. Well, of course, it was a clear-cut decision, but he didn't dominate Usman. Usman was starting to actually pick up the pace in round 2. Round 3. Okay, that first round by Khamzat is always fairly dominant, but Usman held his own. And how many days' notice was it? Was it 10 days' notice? It was less than 10 days, wasn't it? Like a week? It was a week's notice, and Usman was able to go to a decision with the wolf, the killer, the murderer. Watch out for Khamzat, everyone. And then he won against Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland, okay, he's got great jiu-jitsu, but he's bound to get ragdolled. He just hasn't got the physicality to grapple with Khamzat. Gilbert Burns, he went to a unanimous decision against Burns. Then everyone else after that, you got Jing Lang Li. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I know him as a fighter. I just can't remember how to pronounce his name. That Chinese fighter. Jared Mearshalt, Reese McKee. He won against Ikram Eleskarov, who Bobby Knuckles beat. But that was outside of the UFC. So is Khamzat as scary as people make him out to be? I don't know. I think it might be overstated. Look at Bobby Knuckles. He's been so much more active. 2 fights in 22, 1 fight in 23, 2 fights in 24 so far. He's about to have another fight. That's 3 fights in 1 year against notable opponents. Look at Robert Whittaker's record. It's ridiculous. Uriah Hall, Derek Brunson, Jacare Souza, Yoel Romero ×2, Israel Adesanya, Darren Till, Jared Cannonier, Kelvin, Israel again, Marvin Vettori, Duplessis, Paulo Costa. The level of competition is just so much more deep for Robert Whittaker, and I just think that's actually going to favour him going into this fight. I'm probably going to take Robert Whittaker to win this fight. I don't know how yet. We'll decide that closer to the time, and my predictions could change. So don't come on my channel and say, Shaun, you got it wrong, when you didn't watch the final prediction video. Next, we got Cyril Gane versus Volkov. Ooh, I think this is good. I like how Volkov's striking is looking. If you go back and watch that first fight, have I got it pulled up? No. I did have it pulled up a minute ago when I was watching it, just to give myself a little bit of research for this video. And although Cyril Gane got the victory, it wasn't a complete blowout. It was over 3 years ago, and Volkov has made such big improvements since then. Now, Volkov was ranked 5th in the division back then, but look at how many fights he's had since that Cyril Gane loss in 2021. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights, and he's 5-1 in those fights. The only person who Volkov has lost to is Tom Aspinall, and everyone looks bad against Tom Aspinall right now. No one makes it out to the first round against Tom Aspinall, so I think this is going to be a pretty decent win by Volkov. I don't think Cyril Gane is going to be able to take Volkov down. I think it's probably in his best interest to do so, because if you stand and bang with Volkov, he's going to kickbox your head off. So let's go with Volkov to win this fight. Early predictions, once again, it could change, but I highly doubt it with this one. And then the final fight, we've got Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. Now, this will be a good... I think this is possible contender for fight of the night. Now, Ankalaev, he's got them Russian genetics. He's got that Dagestani look. However, it can be deceiving. He's not the type to put pressure on you, push you up against the cage, get a single leg and then pull you down to the ground and then grind out a boring decision. He actually stands and bangs. He's got great kicks. Really good head kicks. And I think this makes for a fantastic matchup against Alexander Rakic. We seen Alexander Rakic fight Yuri Prohaska a few months ago, And what a fight that was. In that first round, Alexander Rakic looked like an absolute killer. Great kickboxing, really good defense, kept his guard really high, unlike Jiri Prochazka, who lets his guards right down, but his punch combinations were fantastic. He was throwing 1-2s and then finishing with the kicks, and his power was incredible. And he's also got great physicality. He's actually fairly jacked and quite big. How is Alexander Rakic going to come back from that Jiri Prochazka loss? Has he been tucked away in the lab, working on his skills? He got beat in that Jiri Prochazka fight, and that can knock your confidence. So is he going to come back with a chip on his shoulder, with something to prove? Is he going to look back on that Jiri Prochazka fight and say, do you know what? It was my biggest test to date, and I was doing pretty good. I could go in there against a former champion and light him up. Okay, I got a little bit sloppy. I made this mistake. I made that mistake. Jiri Prochazka was the better man on the night, but these are the improvements I need to make, and be able to take that perspective, keep his confidence up, and go into this fight thinking, yeah, I can become champion, and I'm going for it. He needs to have a little bit of that FU energy, because this isn't an easy fight for Rakic. Although, however, I really like Rakic as a fighter, and I'm going to back him. I don't think it's the smart move. I think Ankalaev will probably get the win, but I'd really like to back Rakic to win, because I think he's a more exciting fighter, or a more exciting prospect, let's say. And, you know, we just got to oppose these Russians a little bit, just for the sake of geopolitics. I also just seen this post here by ESPN. They said Max Holloway has only lost to one fighter at featherweight since August 2013. So there we go. What an absolute stacked card. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. Maybe some early predictions. What are your opinions about the matchups in general? And we will 100% go live for this. Guys, we're going to go live for all the big UFC events, all the numbered cards we will go live for. Once we got a few more subscribers, a few more members join the channel, which you can do down below, we'll start doing the fight nights. But for the time being, we'll just do the big cards and then the big boxing cards as well. And then also, final thing, I was going to launch my app this Thursday, but I've still got too much to do with it. I'm in the process of uploading loads of members-only content to the app, and I'm filming a mindset module and a technique module. It's just so much to do, so I'm pushing it back a couple of weeks. I'm going to be launching my app on August the 22nd instead, just so I can get all this content finalized for the app. I want to be able to launch it with full confidence that the value in there is just unbelievable and undeniable. So August 22nd, that'll be the official date. Okay, appreciate you all. Like this video. See you tomorrow.